How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this theory video, we'll be talking about Dewey and the possibility of him being the killer in Scream 1996. Yes, guys, I don't know if you guys ever heard that theory about, Dewey being the mastermind and Scream 1996 or not. Um, and the reasoning really, I think, just because I think this is the real reason. I think it's because the obsession that he had with Sydney in that movie, just his weirdness, around her. Um, the fact that he had the costume in his hand, the fact that he got a hold of that costume and all that, the fact that he got a hold, of that mask somehow. A lot of people just don't get why. How did he know where Sydney was at all times and all this and that, and didn't know, you know. Um, And I think that's really, really interesting. That, the fact that he was like following her everywhere, that he like basically knew where she was at all times in the movie, it was kind of strange a little bit. Like, that he just knew everything about her. Like, all of Um, like, yeah, I know that he had her phone number and all that, but it seemed like he had like an obsession with her, in the first movie. And there's a lot of people that will disagree with this. Um, I don't really know for sure if it's 100%. I'm just talking about it, just coming up with, it's a theory that's been around for a while. People thrown out, Uh, Dewey, obviously, I think the number one reason, obviously, is because he, knew everything about Sydney. He was obsessed. Another reason could be that he could be the mastermind too, is maybe he or what am I saying, guys? I'm sorry. So maybe he's the mastermind of all the killings, or not all the killings, but the killings in 1996. That's basically what the theory basically is, that's and I'm just gonna go over the reasonings of why, like the reasonings why people think that way, and why it's a theory that people have. Um, and number one, okay, I don't know if you guys remember that scene where Sydney gets chased by Ghostface, right? She gets chased, okay, in the house. She goes upstairs, she runs upstairs, Ghostface chases her upstairs, and all of a sudden, Billy, appears in the window or whatever, and comes through the window or whatever that fast, and Sydney runs downstairs because she has this, she's looking at Billy like he, was the killer. She thought he was the killer, and obviously he turned out to be at the end. But anyway, she thought he was the killer, like, because he had like a phone that fell out of his pocket, and she runs downstairs and she opens the door and there's Dewey. There's Dewey with the costume. He has the mask in his hands and all that. So it's just like, how in the world does he have that? And I know you may say, well, whoever, Stu probably took it off real quick and ran away. I mean, yeah, maybe. That could be the case too, but you got to think that that's kind of suspicious on itself. Because how he had the mask, how he had the costume and all that, in his hands. I mean, that's kind of suspicious, but at the same time, Stu probably did rip that costume off, and maybe he did rip that costume off and ran away, because that's the only way that you're gonna get away, with it, so you don't get caught, right? So, I mean, I can kind of see that, but honestly, there's another scene as well where Sydney's at Tatum's house. I don't know if you guys remember that scene where she was at Tatum's house, right? And she gets a phone call, or or whatever, and it turns out to be the killer, right? And right after the killer hangs up, now this is where it gets kind of, crazy, right? Um, right when the killer hangs up, here comes Dewey coming out right after the killer hangs up the phone, right? So a lot of people seem to think that it was actually a Dewey. He was the one that was calling Sydney and, calling Sydney on the phone and all that. Because he came out like right after, Ghostface hung the phone up, right? When he, hung up or whatever, Dewey just came out like right after. Like at the timing was this too coincidental to me, I don't know. He comes out right after. He tries to talk on the phone. And all of a sudden, Ghostface obviously is not on the phone no more. So it's just like a lot of people just think that he was the one that was actually talking to Sydney on the phone, you know, in that whole scene. And I don't really, it's very possible, guys. That you never say never, never say never. But I hope you guys enjoyed this theory video, because I just really wanted to talk about this theory. I never really got a chance to really talk about it as much, about this theory. I just wanted to go over the reasonings, you know, the reasonings of why, you know. Um, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below, give me your guys' thoughts about the whole thing. Do you guys think that, Dewey was the mastermind in Scream 1996? I know they're not going to do that now, obviously, because, Dewey's dead now, so they're not going to, say he's the mastermind no more, If it was Wes Craven, maybe, but at this point, I don't think they're ever going to do that. Even if he was, the mastermind in Scream 1996, I don't think that they're going to ever, bring that to light, and have him be like Ghostface or anything like that, because it's far too late for that. They should have did that, in Scream 2 or even in 3, if they were going to do it. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below, as I said. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. With that being said, guys, see you in the next one. Peace.